Three, two, one, record. Hello, everyone. This is the D&T Wrestling Show. Take two. I already started the show earlier because we are live streaming on Twitch. Did not hit the record button, so I'm starting it over again. I am D, the host of the D&T podcast show. This is the T, my co-host, Tyler Thomas. We are doing introductions again. They're not quite as good as they were the first time, but it's fine. It's fine. We're here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about Monday Night Raw that happened yesterday, and we are also here to get their WrestleMania predictions. That's what we're here to do today. We already kind of started. I'll just give it a little quick rerun. We already talked about Jey and Gunther, the Gunther promo. Nothing crazy to talk about, but we did say that we both kind of enjoyed it. You know, we're excited for the match. Nothing insane. And then we did literally just get done talking about Liv and Bayley match. Again, we were just kind of talking about how Bayley's been great. Bayley's been the person everyone's been wrestling lately because she's honestly one of the best. And we were just saying the match is solid. I will add in, now that we kind of are at the end of that match anyways, I will just add in, there was a really cool spot where, Liv was supposed to hit her little code breaker. And Lyra, well, there's two spots. So there's one where Liv had hit that off of, like, the turnbuckle. So she had, like, in this weird way gotten Bayley to be in like a code breaker position. It was really cool. If you have a chance to go back, watch that spot. But the other one that was cool near the end was that Lyra, you know how Liv's code breaker kind of works. She pulls you from off the rope down to the ground, and the impact from her knees is supposed to, cause you pain. She goes to do that, and all Lyra does, this is the interference from the, supposed to be the good guy side, the face side. All she does is jumps up to the rope and just holds Bayley. She just holds her. It's not touching Liv. She just holds Bayley so the code breaker can't pull her. And then Liv kind of goes flailing back, and that's when Bayley comes up for the roll-up pin 1, 2, 3. It was actually a really cool finish. I really liked it from all three of them. Other than that, we will move on to the next part. Quick little thing. Bianca did have a promo right after that match. Literally, who cares? It was just a boring kind of like, here's Bianca. They did the same thing with EO later in the show.
Just because just to
get us to remember,
like face to face, like they've been doing the past couple of weeks. They just,
I'm guessing SmackDown is where.
Hey, I'm Bianca Belair. I'm very strong. I'm gonna win, right? That's basically the only thing that.
But the next thing that happened, actually important, is that Julius Creed and Rey Mysterio had a singles match. So this is supposed to be the build up to Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, the greatest luchador of all time. Super memes in the Gulf of America, super memes, but we love it. Honestly, it's been a really great feud as far as like throwing a mid-card feud together last second. It's been pretty cool in my opinion. Julius Creed is one of my favorite wrestlers on the roster as far as just pure wrestling. If you aren't aware, you need to get hip. That guy's awesome. Clay J2K is asking El Tigre. No, it is El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano.
Not from Nacho Libre.
Not from Nacho Libre. He's not from the Gulf of Mexico. He's from the Gulf of America. That is where that is his location of where he's from. He's from the Gulf.
Just if you ever say that he is Chad Gable, you're completely wrong.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, no, Chad Gable's some other guy. He's some other guy. Yeah. But no, it's a very very cool match. This another one that'll probably get left in people's memory. Not super memorable in the sense of like there's no feud between Julius and Rey. I will say though, another match full of fun spots. Rey's kind of high-flying Hurricane Rana based.
I'll say what, dude. Rey at 50 or whatever the hell age he is, he's flying, dude. He's still doing what he's got to do. Like he's pulling off some crazy stunts.
I was gonna say,
like someone bigger than him like that, dude. He just gets like he's pretty good.
That's what I was gonna say, and I know you remember this spot was that Julius really does make someone like Rey look good, and it's making me think Julius needs to be in these feuds with some of these other high flyers going forward. I hope there's like a Julius Carmelo match somewhere down the line. I hope there's a Julius Rey Fenix who we just saw debut recently. I hope they get a chance because Julius is a good powerhouse. So the spot I'm gonna call people to, and Clay, this will be for you if you want to go watch something wrestling. I know you don't love wrestling, but Julius picks Rey, jumps on him out onto the mat. So he jumps from the apron down onto Julius. Julius catches this man on the ground. So he catches him. They both fall. He's still holding him on the ground. He then lifts him and military presses him up. and then proceeds to walk this man up the stairs onto the apron and then dumps it. It's like, what the fuck? Okay. All right, man.
And like there's no like where it's a power bomb. Like there's no like swinging your body up. Like he literally is just trying to like full force. And obviously Ray is smaller, right? So it's but Ray's probably 160, 170 max, maybe.
Even just taking weights, like lifting from the ground. You're on the ground, and then
it's ridiculous.
That was crazy. That was an awesome spot. Ray, of course, won the match. It was expected. That shouldn't have been any other way. And then there was some weird shenanigans at the end, but they tried to take off Ray's mask, didn't work. Tried to take off El Grande.
Do you? I got a quick question.
Sure.
Do you think that El Grande Americano, after if he supposedly doesn't get unmasked, if that kind of thing happens, do you think he goes and tries to face all the other luchadors that are in WWE?
I see what you're going for. Yeah. So now that they're actually like,
because him versus Penta, him versus Ray Phoenix, him versus Dragon Lee, like all of those. Obviously, he already did Dragon Lee, but you know what I mean. Like all of those guys, I feel like it would be a very, very good, at least storyline to go down.
No, I see that, and I really, really doubt that they built this thing up. So Chad Gable, if we're kind of being a little more meta about it, Chad Gable, you got to remember he signed that contract. He signed that contract when he was in the middle of that Intercontinental feud, and the payoff for his signing wasn't that he'd be champion. So the payoff is something. And Triple H is no dummy. He knows that Chad is talented. And Chad knows that I don't think he's dumb. I think he's probably in the backstage going like, hey, where's my thing? Where's my big story?
Well, they even gave him a spot because people have been talking about it, like a little promo saying like, I think you may have missed it because it was during a commercial break.
Yeah, probably.
I'm in Canada, by the way, so I don't get commercials and that kind of stuff. But he was like, "Oh, I missed my WrestleMania spot and blah 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 blah." But Grande,
that's right.
And he was like saying that stuff, right? So it's
that's right. So maybe to him, for now, it's just getting to WrestleMania, getting the spot. Well, see, then that kind of thing leads me to feeling like maybe he won't be going after those other luchadors because this is just the thing here and now. Maybe Chad Gable's a guy that is like, I don't even know, like a Mankind. Like he's just going to keep doing these new little. First, he's A-hole Alpha Academy. Yes, exactly. So I'm I'm wondering if Chad wants to be that new thing, or this is the character El Grande Americano. Secret identity plus Chad Gable, the A-hole instructor. If that's it, then cool. Like you said, then I would like to see him going up against Penta, Ray Phoenix. And it would make sense given that I feel like we're led to believe Ray Phoenix and Penta are going to be a tag team coming up here.
For sure, yeah.
So, cool. So, I'll get to the two other promos real quick. So, War Raiders did a little promo. The only thing I noted of this is that one of them, the shorter one, tried to put on a deep voice because as anybody that's been watching wrestling lately knows, Ivar, the War Raiders' biggest problem is their promos, and the bigger problem, the bigger problem with their promos is that because they're the War Raiders and they're supposed to be all big and tough and whatever, they hold on, we have a comment that I need to reply to. Because they're the War Raiders and they're supposed to be menacing, and they actually used to be a heel tag team, you would think that they sound menacing, and the problem is, I have kind of like a in-between high and low voice sometimes. They really talk like Krill and Goku. Like they don't sound menacing. Yeah. So you could tell that whichever one you just said, Ivar, like he was like New Day. You guys in your time is coming to an end. It's like,
he was bringing his Viking voice.
Yeah, something like that. So then right after that, New Day cuts a rivaling promo. Again, these two promos could be thrown to the wayside. Not really sure that this should even be a WrestleMania match, but the only way it makes sense is that the New Day wins. We'll get to that down later in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
You can take the next part. I know I just kind of stole a good chunk of the show right there, but you can take the next match.
No, we're good. We're good, yeah. The next match was AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. Yeah. So they've had that little feud kind of going on back and forth. Karrion's been trying to turn AJ heel again. I hope to God they don't do that because they're going to change his freaking music again, and his music is fine where it's at. It's one of the best songs, one of the best theme songs, and don't let Def Rebel touch anything else, please.
Please.
But yeah, so the match I thought was really good. There were some cool little spots. Like there was one spot where AJ is doing his like phenomenal forearm, and Karrion's getting up and he's just putting his arms behind his back, like ready to take it. It's just funny. Karrion Kross is a hilarious being in the ring, outside of the ring, and I just think he needs a little bit more kind of love, tender love, and care, just to kind of do a little bit more bigger feuds.
I agree.
If not, like he can do a feud with like a Braun Breaker. Like he can do feuds with all those guys, right? And they're just kind of not giving it to him. I'm assuming they're just trying to find what his character is going to be now, since they don't have the AOP and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, one of our favorite factions from recent history.
Yeah. Fantastic, dude. Like I said, I like Karrion Kross. I like what he's been doing recently.
Yeah,
especially
this is better. This is better. Yeah.
They're giving him time every week, so that means they trust him, right? They're giving him time every single week. They trust him. And you know what he gets with his time, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, like he's making the most out of that time that he can. So, but yeah, like I said, then Logan Paul comes out, talks to AJ Styles, gives his little promo saying that basically I'm richer, I'm better,
I'm the greatest.
I can accomplish more in a day than you can in an entire week or whatever it was. So. And then again, Logan Paul's new finisher, the Pulverizer, I think it's called.
Right.
That thing is sick. That thing is
very
sick.
Cool. Very cool. Logan.
I don't know how it's going to work with other opponents. Let's say he faces Cody Rhodes, or let's say he faces a Seth Rollins or somebody like that.
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would really put it to the test. Yeah, Roman's big as shit.
So it's like I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Yeah. It was a great match. Great little match in the promo segment, kind of exactly what you'd want for, again, another little mid-card WrestleMania feud. Couple notes I had on this in general. For the feud, like we were saying earlier, so for instance, like the Eric Ivar, War Raiders, New Day, doesn't feel like it should be on WrestleMania. It's a tag match, great. They should have built it more then if they wanted us to care more. This match, I do care. I actually do care. Yeah. The idea of AJ Styles going out and kind of like, maybe getting his ass handed to him for a little bit, but then finally coming around to really beat Logan Paul up. I feel like that's the story they're going to want to tell.
Well, I also found something out a little bit today that was
go for it.
Someone was saying about AJ Styles, like he says in some way, I don't have any facts, do not fact check me or anything like that. But from what I heard from this person,
we're not a news outlet here. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, they were just like AJ doesn't want to wrestle past 50 or something like that, and he's almost up there, right? And they were saying that like he's kind of like doing a soft retirement tour. You know what I mean? So they're just trying to give him as best matches as possible, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all the AJ Styles stuff.
I do just want to make a quick note. We have another. We have a new member joining, a wrestling aficionado, Johnny King, 39, who he did say yes. El Grande Americano, top 2, luchador not 2. Hard to disagree right now, really is, honestly. Let's be real. Let's be real. If Penta wants to stop botching.
3-0. He's 3-0.
He's 3-0.
Yeah, so
he's 3-0, and he's about to face the greatest luchador of all time.
And I think he's undefeated in his actual reign, like in other countries and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're definitely right about that.
Couple notes. You already said the pulverizer was awesome. I agree with that. I did want to say, so as Logan's cutting his promo, it hit me like a train of bricks, whatever the saying is. Logan, whoever coached Carmelo coached Logan on their promos. They sound identical.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, yeah.
Yes, and if you start watching them and start listening to them the same way, it really bothered me a little as it started going on. I like them both. Like,
imagine if Logan was like a full timer, and then Melo and Logan would be like a tag team. Dude, that would be insane.
Come on, I think it would be amazing.
Sorry,
well, and just to be, there may be a WWE 2K25 universe mode going on right now where there is a tag team. Brother, there might be one going on right now where there is a tag team of Logan Paul and Carmelo. That might already be a thing, but just saying. But anyways, no, I thought the promo was good though. Like you said, Logan came out, did his normal thing. I did have another note. Let me see if I can find it. It was just this one thing. Logan, when he cut his promo, he said Sacramento was the city because you can't afford to live in LA and you're not rich, or you're not cool enough to be in LA and you're not rich enough to be in San Francisco.
Dude, I don't care if he keeps using the
let's be real.
Shit, dude, it's great.
But Logan's like great in LA, so I think it kind of does hit a little bit to home. He lives out there. He's been out there for a minute, and it's kind of like, I feel like when you're out there, that kind of rings true in a way, like Sacramento, dude. But that was funny. But that was kind of it. You pretty much hit everything else on the head as far as that match. So just next kind of things. very quickly between this and the next thing, Chad Gable, not El Grande, Chad Gable. I don't know why there would be an association. Chad Gable cut a promo just discussing El Grande Americano and his feats that he's accomplished so far, and just generally supporting the luchador. So very interesting that Chad Gable would be supporting a luchador right now, like El Grande Americano. Might want to keep an eye on that. Anyways, going forward, Jey Uso comes out to do his counter promo to the Gunther promo I talked about earlier. So this is just Jey coming out to say things like, you didn't really say much at all. I'm looking back to my notes and I'm remembering. Actually, he didn't say much at all.
He said this.
He pretty much did say that. He came out and just said, "We're the main event. I'm ready to fight." That kind of thing. He just wanted to get the crowd behind him. I'll say this again. Just only real note is that coming into the stadium, this has been a thing. I don't think it's like insane for me to say this, but like the Yeats have been down, right? They're not quite as big as they were maybe a month or two ago. I think in a weird way, the WrestleMania hype killed it for certain fans. Right? Like these people that now it's not just a gimmick. They're like, well, I hate that Jey is the Royal Rumble winner. Those people are out. They're like, screw this. I don't want to do the eating.
And no offense to Jey at all. No offense to him.
I like Jey.
It's more of the fact that like if I feel like it would be fine if his promos hit harder, especially in the beginning. Like honestly, he hasn't even last week wasn't like the greatest promo in any he hasn't really had a good promo. Basically, someone who's carried the feud has been Gunther because he destroyed Jimmy. He basically killed Jimmy.
I think Jey has only probably put on like actually two really good promos in this feud, like two actually good, and it's just him,
and one of them was him talking to Jimmy.
That's right. That's right.
And it's like they has chemistry. Like I don't know. I love Jey. I love his energy. I love all that type of stuff, man. But it's very hard to get behind something when it doesn't feel like it's being taken serious, and that's just my
I agree with that as well. I do think it is. People called him the new Jeff Hardy. I think that makes sense, and it's in a way,
unfortunately kind of fair. Yeah.
In a hype and clout and aura, whatever word you want to insert there, that's where I would compare it. The thing about Jeff Hardy that I think a lot of these maybe newer fans or the Jey Uso people, the Yeeters, what they're not really getting is that Jeff Hardy is a one of a kind, kind of wrestler. The things he was doing and the way he wrestled was like. It was kind of hard to find. Maybe you found it in luchadors, but the high flying in general, even now, it's harder to find people that'll really go out and do it. And Jeff was like every week killing himself, right? So that's why we loved him. Yeah. Jey is like we're hoping to get a good spear out of the man.
If there was promo ability and wrestling ability, Jeff Hardy at least had the I'm gonna swanton bomb off of a 25-foot ladder onto somebody, right? Like that. He had that part, the exciting part. Jey's wrestling isn't unfortunately the most exciting thing in the world.
Good enough to be in the main event matches, but it's not good enough to where like he's the guy. If he's in the match with Jimmy, funnily enough, and I've seen a lot of the internet wrestling community or whatever mention this, like, wow, when him and Jimmy had that match a couple weeks ago, Jey looked freaking awesome, dude. Because guess what? Half the match was only being done by this man. But I will say we got a quick question by our friend Clay J2K. He asks us, what is a promo? That is a great question, Clay. The promo would be, so, you're watching wrestling, you have the two people come out, and they're wrestling. That would just be a match. If someone comes out and they get on the mic, and they're just talking shit, maybe someone else comes out and does the same thing. They don't even have to come out. Maybe they're just backstage doing an interview or whatever. That is
basically
promo.
anything that is
not a match.
Prolonging a story or just talking is basically a promo.
Yeah, anything. It can literally be anything. It can be, I would call, and we won't go into this entire thing, but the build up to the Wyatt 6 last year. So this was literally just QR codes. They were kind of like horror movie flashing on the screen for like 8 months. Each one of those I would call a promo. That was it. It was just a QR code flashing on the screen for 5 seconds. That was it. It was just them trying to get you to drum up interest in this group that was coming. So it's just how they get you to care, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was the Jey thing. Nothing really else to talk about there. You want to go to the next part? We could probably speed through the next couple things, as I'm realizing we are spending more time on the Raw stuff than I maybe thought we would, but we're almost to the end anyways. So
yeah. So I actually don't remember what the next match was after that. Was it the?
So after that would be there was Braun Breaker promo into the Penta versus Finn.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Braun Breaker promo, and then obviously Finn and Dom attack Braun Breaker.
Yes, that's right.
Literally 2 seconds into his promo,
yeah.
basically.
I thought they were gonna finally let him talk. They just nope.
Nope. They talk, and then then the Penta and Finn match happened. Again, a fantastic match. I think that Fatal Four match is going to be a slept-on match of the night contender. I think it's going to be really, really good, especially with the likes of Finn, Bron. Dom can work on it. Dom can get better.
Yeah.
Obviously,
we'll get to the predictions. We'll get to the predictions.
Yeah, we'll get to our predictions in a little bit. But no, yeah. So that match was Penta and Finn was fantastic.
Yep.
Obviously, Braun Breaker, my guy, probably one of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE right now.
Dogs are out. Come on now,
dude. He's legit, dude.
That's a bona fide stud right there. That's a bona fide stud.
How about the Carlito get in the same position from last week?
The foreshadowing. He's like, nah. He went through the ring. That is some good storytelling because all they did there was pull it from last week.
Carlito's like R-Truth, but just doesn't say any words. It's freaking fantastic.
Tyler, that's the first time I've heard that, and I'm stamping that right there. That is a good ass opinion right there. I've not heard the R-Truth comparisons, but I like it. I like it a lot. He doesn't have to be quite the imbecile, I suppose, that R-Truth maybe has cornered himself into being, but he can still be a goofball. Because we've all seen Carlito win as a serious character. So we don't have to treat him like a complete moron. He's just kind of hey, I'm back, everybody. I'm really glad that they're keeping me around here.
Carlito's happy to be back in the WWE. They're not getting paid pennies anywhere else.
Yeah.
He's I'm the WWE. I don't need a title. I don't need anything like that. My name is enough.
He doesn't even have matches, really, dude. He just is there to fuck around.
He gets paid to be the comedic relief, and it's fantastic.
And he's actually he's in really great shape. But we don't have to spend 10 minutes on Carlito.
The match was fantastic. Obviously, it gets interrupted by shenanigans because they're prolonging the Fatal 4-Way match and so on and so forth. Same thing that's been the past couple weeks.
Yeah. I think it was cool. Instead of giving predictions I think is what your instinct is right now, we'll just cut that part there and just go next thing. So I'll just get the next two. So EO does a promo, like I mentioned earlier, nothing insane. But all right, so we got our last thing. I'm actually just gonna go word for word what I have in my notes because this is what we're all here for. This is the main event, not even a match. That's how much we care. It's just a freaking promo. I wrote down exactly like this. Paul Heyman is greeted by CM Punk as Roman Reigns arrives at the stadium. Very lovers quarrel because as he's sitting there talking to Punk, Roman is like, "Are you serious?" That's the kind of look he has, and then he just walks off. Very rom-com. Someone said Roman looked at Paul like an ex-girlfriend. Like an ex-girl. That's exactly what it was. So it was I put very lovers quarrel. Roman comes out to the stadium with Paul Heyman chasing him, pleading with him. So then he cuts a promo accosting Paul Heyman, asking him, I wish I could remember a single actual thing he said, but it basically just along the lines of what are you doing, Paul? Whose side are you on? Why are you helping him? But I actually think this is one of Roman's better promos in a minute. His ability to interrogate Paul with the crowd and doing it, he's not missing a beat. It was very good. It was very fucking good, dude. There's a reason Roman Reigns is considered a modern day GOAT. The dude, the character he was 10 years ago is literally dead. It's a very awesome thing to see because that's when I first originally saw him was when he was that kind of weirdo part of the Shield. He was just kind of good at wrestling, whatever.
Yep.
But the thing he is now is awesome. This promo he cut was great. He goes, he's getting in Paul's face. He gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth comes out and says, there's no chance Paul is going to side with you, Roman. Isn't that obvious? He's kind of getting fourth wall meta like we would as fans, and he's going don't you see the build-up they're doing, buddy? He's basically saying that, don't you see the foreshadowing? It's all right in front of you. He's not going to be with you. He's going to be with CM Punk. He's that's what I've been trying to tell you all this entire time. And
Seth Rollins, I think, has been the best.
Yes, that's what I was literally about to say. By the way, Seth Rollins has been carrying that's another guy. Put him at the top of the list of people that I did not like as much when I first started. I didn't hate him, maybe the way that I hated him.
I loved him, dude. I loved him.
Yeah. I know you're.
I think it was just the.
Tyler's a bit. This number one Seth Rollins fan. Yeah.
I love Seth, dude.
It took me some time, but as I've come around, when people call him the next Triple H, I see it. I like how much of a company man he is, and he means it. He is cutting promos based on exactly how he feels. He's telling these guys, I love this business. I love this business. I love it more than you do. I'm better than you. Maybe that's questionable, but he's good enough to where he can say that and then be like, y'all are in this for the money. It's obvious. I want to be here until I die. My wife could come back one day.
To go off of your point,
but you get the point.
He's being the heel in the situation, which
right.
I don't think we've ever seen something like this before. He's the heel in the situation, but he's acting.
He's very correct.
His actions are they're correct. Yes. They're face actions, like that type of stuff. Right?
I would say
just
even
because
more,
of the situation, the other two people that are in there, it's like they're not going to turn on them, right?
The crowd isn't.
Seth was literally saying that stuff, and then they were saying CM Punk,
or they would go OTC. They were doing it on purpose. So in a way, exactly. Seth and Bianca, kind of two peas in a pod right now. Just honestly, by the way, honestly, we'll get to those predictions, but just want to say that they're the same exact character right now. Just by the way, but anyways, just to kind of close out what happened here, Roman actually agrees with Seth that he's correct. He's like, you know what? I agree with you. And then he attacks Seth. I wish I remember the exact line he delivered because it was pretty snappy, but he basically is like, yeah, you're right. I am probably going to get betrayed. Boom, clocks Seth right in the face. Starts wailing on Seth. And then he's getting ready to mess up Paul. He pushes Paul, and then CM Punk comes out. Okay, so now it's like very clear. CM Punk at this point is Paul Heyman's bodyguard. That is what he's kind of become in these last couple weeks. He saves Heyman, but then Roman spears CM Punk, who is once again in the position to go after Paul Heyman. And the final crescendo of the whole show is a callback from however many years ago. Seth Rollins, who had just previously been put away by a finisher, now is back in the ring at Roman's back with a steel chair.
Wearing a vest.
Wearing essentially the same gear. Even though, that's actually a great point. I didn't even think about it till just now. He's wearing his kind of whatever stylish,
with the same hairstyle, with the same hair.
That's right.
Hairstyle.
But
dude,
the fashion does look Shield.
That's goated.
That's true. Hits Roman Reigns in the back with the steel chair. Roman goes down. Oh my God. It's just like the Shield. All of a sudden, Seth Rollins is standing tall above all three of the other men in the ring, looking at Paul Heyman. I think he looks even more menacing than he did last week. I think last week this is what they were going for. Very smart for them to actually bring in. Okay, if Paul got hit by Seth, that's bad, right? I think if the idea here is that Seth hits Paul with a chair or like the Bloodline did, put him through the freaking table, that's more messed up to a guy like Paul Heyman, and I think it really actually carried home. Like, okay, Paul going into that match is going to be genuinely scared of Seth. That's the show. Great Raw. Nothing like absolutely nuts. Like, oh my freaking God, that spot right there is probably one of the only ones that you can go back and go, okay, you might want to watch that before WrestleMania. You know, that kind of thing. Yep. So
they're basically putting all that, like, this is the point where no one wants to get hurt, no one wants to
exactly
risk anything like that. They're just there. Yep, that's all it's there for. It's just to kind of move the story along until we get to Saturday and Sunday.
Yep. Okay. That's a Raw. That's a wrap up on Raw. We spent about 30 to 40 minutes on that. Nothing insane.
Yep.
That was about where I was hoping it would be. So then what we'll do is the next half of the episode will be us talking about WrestleMania, giving our WrestleMania predictions, talking about the match as much as we want. That kind of thing. So we'll just get into it now. I'll go ahead and just start off with the first match. So WrestleMania Night 1, in the order that I've been able to find it online, I have no clue if this is the order these matches will go in. I really hope that this is not the first match, because I think people might be a little lackluster to start this way. But what I have here,
it's gonna be a little rough.
Well, actually, I will let you know I don't have our show sheet pulled up, Tyler. So I might go in an order that you're not in on the show sheet. But what I have first is the Tag Team Championship match. The War Raiders versus the New Day. I will just go ahead first and say that I have the New Day winning this match. The only one and only way the New Day don't win this match is if the actual big reason to even have this at WrestleMania, which I don't see being likely, is that they lose the match because Big E returns. Big E returns, makes his big entrance. That's how you open up WrestleMania with one of the first few matches. Big E, oh my God, he comes back, messes with New Day in some way, interference. Eric and Ivar win the match. The bigger story is, of course, now the New Day has Big E back to rival with. Maybe Big E has his own tag partner at some point. Don't think that's happening. I do think the New Day take over as the best tag team. I think they're the best tag team in wrestling right now, period. They already were one of the better tag teams. Obviously, they're the freaking New Day. But this new heel act this is only our first episode, so we haven't had a chance to like talk to the public about it, but I love it. I love the new Bad New Day. I want them to actually have a belt, and all these little face tag teams that they've been building, you just gave them a perfect enemy to all chase for the next couple months. That's perfect. That's perfect. Get these young guys up talking smack to guys. All Kofi and Xavier are doing right now is talking smack to people. So get them up there, get them those belts, get them on the road. What do you think?
Yeah, my just a quick note that Daniel and I have not shared our predictions at all.
That's true.
Going into this,
I don't know what Tyler thinks.
He's going to select. He doesn't know what I'm going to pick. But funny enough, I actually think the exact same thing that you thought. But my thought process is that Big E is coming.
He is. I like it. Okay.
The New Day is going to lose. Because again, I just like you said, I don't see how this match even makes it onto the card without like the SmackDown. All the SmackDown stuff has been going on over the past 3 months, like with all those tag teams, and like they could have done like a like what they did last year, a big ladder match with all the 5 tag teams.
Yes,
sitting there
that would have been awesome.
But no, they brought this. So
just this.
I think Big E either comes back or interferes in the match.
Something,
and the War Raiders retain because right now, as Raw speaks, there is, and I don't know if there's going to be a draft or anything after WrestleMania, but Raw tag teams at the moment, I want to say, are like 90% heels. You have Alpha heels. Academy. You have who else?
They're also part of factions.
Grayson Waller. Like you have the Judgment Day. Like all these people are heels, correct? So I feel like War Raiders has a face. Like you can do something with that. That's if they want to. They haven't even shown any interest in it in the past. So I'm not against that. Why do you open WrestleMania with that?
I'm not against that. I'm more like, if I'm reading the tea leaves, it doesn't feel like they've put a lot into Eric and Ivar. That's why I would assume they lose this.
I agree with you.
If they wanted us to care more, they should have done more to get us to care leading into this match.
Yes.
Not even about this feud specifically, just Eric and Ivar as the simple truth is that the WWE has been bad at making us care about tag teams. Like, the only one people have cared about are usually the ones that get thrown together of real superstars. So Bianca and Jade, Bianca and Naomi.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Jesus Christ. I mean, people probably cared more about Bron and Penta, who are not even going to be a permanent tag team going forward. It'll probably be Penta and Rey Fenix. But anyway.
You're right.
Okay, that's that match. We don't need to spend a ton of time on like mid-card stuff. So next one is, hey, already kind of talked about it. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I have Rey Mysterio winning this match. I think you're setting all this up to have a big kind of cheerful moment for everybody at WrestleMania to see Rey win. Possibly one of Rey's last WrestleManias. I think that maybe has gone unannounced by a lot of people. It's a decent chance this is his last one. Even if he's in wrestling next year or the year after, not a huge chance he'll be like in WrestleMania. I think it's actually, if you really think about it, it's kind of a fun send-off for him. He's beating like this white guy pretending to be a luchador, but Chad actually is probably the only person or one of the only people that could give the luchador name some genuine respect in the ring in that sense, like as a heel character in that way. So I think it's a really great way to send Rey off. They're going to have a lot of drama baked in, probably the factions getting involved, finishing it all off with Rey winning and unmasking a Grande Americano. Now, what that ends up being, I like the theories that it's not Chad. I love that the theories that it's that other dude. I always forget his name, Jordan or whatever. If John is still in the chat, he certainly remembers that guy's name. I don't know if John, you're still here.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think? What are your big predictions?
First, I'm going to answer Clay's question.
Hey,
to put it into football terms, Clay. Basically,
say the question. Say the question first.
His question is, how can you tell if someone is going to be a tag team in the future, like compared to football stuff, for me to understand? Basically, I guess there's not really a direct comparison, but it would be, let's say, a quarterback and a receiver are on the same team in college. The quarterback gets drafted 1 year, the receiver still has another year, and then the next year the receiver gets drafted, and they get paired together. Kind of like that.
It's close. I would actually. You're making a mistake trying to compare it to football, I think. I would say, if you're ever watching a TV show, Clay, and you're like, that character and that character, I can already tell there's something going on there. That's really what's happening here.
Right.
You're trying to put together story beats, and you're trying to put together foreshadowing that they're doing. combined with what Tyler just said.
Dwight and Jim from The Office, for sure.
Yes.
Dwight and Jim from The Office. They have a little bit of beef or whatever, kind of going back and forth, and then by the end of the show, the character development, they're
like best friends. Pam and Jim. Yeah. Wow, I wonder if they'll be together. You're trying to put those beats together. Let's be real about what WWE and wrestling is. This is a combat sports soap opera. That's what it is. It is that. 100%. So if you watch it in that way, you can really get a sense for what's going to happen. But what were you going to say?
But so yeah, just to go off of that. But yeah, my prediction for is going to be Rey Mysterio. Yes. Yeah. It's going to be Rey Mysterio. Again, kind of same thing with what you were saying. It's going to be one of Rey's probably last ones that he's going to be doing. I want it to be El Grande Americano because of what we spoke about earlier. Saying him fighting all of the other luchadors, but I just don't know how long. I don't know what's gonna come from it. Especially, well, again, he could do it, and they don't do a mask for mask match, and then it works out that way. But true. Yeah, I'm gonna also go Rey Mysterio because usually the good guys in these type of stories win.
I just came up with the most fire ending in the world. Are you ready for this shit?
Go ahead.
Rey and El Grande Americano put on a fire match, banger match. It's at the end where instead of taking off his mask, Rey has the chance to do it. He beats him, right? Rey has the chance to do it, but he anoints him as a true luchador and decides not to remove the mask. He has it, and he's like El Grande is just sitting there like waiting ready, and he's like, no. And he's like, no. And he literally takes his hand and raises him up, and he's like hugs him. And he's like, that was a great match, and raises his hand, and everyone's like, see. Honestly, that would be fire, because then that gives Rey the win. It gives us our entire what we just said. It literally gives us everything. That's the perfect ending in my opinion.
So right.
Triple H, if you're listening, please. If that happens, I'm coming back next week, and I'm running a victory lap around my living room if I get that right. But all right,
posting the clip all over TikTok.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I did not read that anywhere on the internet. I just came up with that. But anyways, all right, next match: Naomi versus Jade, singles match. Nothing on the line other than bragging rights, other than asses being beat. I like this match. I like it a lot. If you would have told me that this is what they were building to when Jade first showed up, I would have said, that sounds awesome. I hope they were able to do it. And look where we are. They were able to do it. It doesn't involve Bianca. However, my prediction will be Naomi wins this match because the Bianca heel turn, the long-awaited NXT Bianca, returns to us during this match. Bianca comes out, and I actually think it'll be... So I've been saying this to y'all, obviously, in our friend group talking about this. I've been saying this for months. I don't think it was it doesn't take a genius to really notice these things, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Okay, Bianca had two amazing tag teams with these two women, Naomi and Jade. The big similarity between it all is that whoever Bianca was in a team with at the moment, she wore the same colors. Like, this was their thing. Bianca's wearing pink and Naomi's wearing some type of pink. Bianca's wearing some type of blue. Jade's wearing some type of blue. They do some type of matching. Okay, when these promos started happening after the big betrayal, anytime, all right, there was a chance to do this kind of color coding, Bianca and Naomi are wearing the same colors, and Jade is always the odd person out. Literally a stark contrast to the two of them. I don't think that's a mistake. Don't think it's a mistake at all that Bianca's getting pushed down the road of being a heel in the first place. I'm guessing they wanted it to be more of a true shock instead of this gradual build up to it anyways, because now it's not going to be it's not going to be insane, right, to hear people booing her, but they kind of already are. But I do think that reveal comes. I think something like Naomi will try to cheat, right, and we'll all see it, and the ref won't, and then Bianca will come out, and we'll go, yes, like Bianca's here to help Jade, and then boom, Bianca stuffs Jade, match over. 1, 2, 3. Bianca gets in the ring with Naomi over Jade, and it's just absolute, the entire stadium, boo, losing their freaking mind, and we finally get it. And not just that, but Naomi and Bianca are once again a tag team.
Okay. Cool. I kind of agree with you, but for different minds on a more long-term
different mindset.
Things.
Go for it.
Yeah. So Naomi wins via disqualification.
Okay, so they do catch it. All right.
Correct. So Naomi wins via disqualification because Jade Cargill hits her with a chair or something like that. Okay, because I don't think you have this big of a storyline and only have one match for it. I think this is like a trilogy of
That's
matches.
a good point. That's a good point. Like
okay,
like a little
especially,
more. Yeah.
Especially if Jade is newer, try to have her, get used to one person, work with one person, and have her go up until SummerSlam, possibly.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever it might be. And then at like SummerSlam, I'll kind of wrap it back around when we get to another segment here. Then at SummerSlam, have like the Bianca thing happen, right? Have, what you basically just said. Bianca comes like Bianca's the guest referee or something like that, or whatever it might be of this match in particular. And then it's like choose a side, Bianca, and then she tries to choose a side and picks, whatever it might be, right? So that's the kind of my mindset.
You just think they'll get to the same ending, just a different, different order.
Just a different, longer path, basically.
I see it. I see it.
Like I said, because the thing is too, they're building Naomi up as this big heel.
That's true.
Promos,
that's
but
true.
She's doing really, really good as a heel. So it's like, I feel like if Jade beats her right now, I feel like all that momentum's over. Like, who does Naomi?
Yeah.
Naomi doesn't have anything to build off of, right? She's not backstabbing anybody else. The only person I guess would be Bianca if Bianca doesn't turn, right? But in my mind, I have a different theory for Bianca, but like I said,
we'll how it gets there. No, that makes sense. So you're just not seeing the big heel turn basically coming. You're kind of just seeing more like they're going to use this. Not at Mania. That's fair. That's totally fair. I see that. The reason I'm thinking, and I guess we'll end up getting into it anyways, but I think it also lends, if they do it here, okay, now you have that triple threat match coming up that would be the next day. Bianca coming in after that as a true heel makes that match going in 4.5. So you see, like Bianca being a true, just realized heel versus the one people really want to cheer for, Rhea. Even though, if we're all being real, like Rhea should not be getting cheered for at all in this feud. But whatever, it's the same. It's like you said, it's the same exact thing with Roman and Seth. Like, it's sometimes Roman and CM Punk's like sometimes the crowd just simply does not care. It's like, okay. Screw storytelling, I guess. Like, you can't complain about no storytelling, and then y'all just completely ruin it. But
so I think because I think paying it off Bianca heel turn like right now, and then let's say at Backlash, like Bianca Jade goes right there. I just think that's too soon. I think they want to do Bianca Jade at Mania, so that's why I think like it's a longer term kind of storytelling. You have the heel turn at SummerSlam. You have these one-off matches with Bianca and Jade at different PLEs, and then finish off the big one at next year's Mania. That's kind of my thought process with it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's that match. We both got Jade winning. So awesome. I guess I technically had Naomi winning, but same idea. I think we both had for the match. All right. So next match is WWE United States Championship match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Absolutely insane match. I'll let you do your prediction first on this one. I know I've been going first the last couple times.
I think this is a different opinion of what everybody else is thinking. I think LA Knight wins this.
Okay. All right. What's you thinking?
Because I think the Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa feud doesn't need a title. I think Solo gets involved with this and causes Jacob Fatu the match.
Okay.
No disqualification, nothing like that. But
no.
I think Jacob Fatu gets distracted by Solo or something like that, or Tama, like they try to help and everything, and then Jacob's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Blah 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 blah, and then he gets screwed over by them, and LA Knight retains. That's kind of my prediction, because I think that's definitely different from a lot of other people have been saying.
I can see that. No, I like it. I like it a lot. I actually. I have Jacob Fatu winning this, but this was one of the ones that was harder for me to really make a decision on. I only chose that because I do think Jacob Fatu is obviously like just this massive rising star, like burning up in the sky right now type of thing. Like seriously insane. His momentum. You already had people who were like us who were pretty familiar with him coming in. Shout out John if John's here. I'm assuming John's gone by now, but someone like John got us hit with a wrestler like that before he was ever even mentioned to sign with WWE. Mm-hmm. But getting to WWE, I was shocked at how quickly he caught on and was like a superstar. So I do think they give him the belt here. I will say this. I like what you're saying. And if Solo ends up having nothing else to do with WrestleMania, I actually would be more willing to agree with you and go with your prediction. My thing is, and I guess we'll end up getting to it here in a couple minutes, but I've been hearing the rumblings that Solo is Randy's opponent at WrestleMania, and that's I'm actually going to assume that is what it is. So it's like, I don't know if they'll run. I think it's too mid-card for the Bloodline right now to both have some big betrayal and Solo gets a match all on his own. I think that's just too much storytelling for these people.
Is it 5 and 5 matches right now? Is it 5 for Saturday and 5 for
No, I think it's more
Sunday?
than that. I think it's like 6 or 7.
Oh, is it more?
I'm looking at this is 7 for night 1. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay, I'm scrolling down. I didn't see these guys. Okay.
I did a lot of work on this in the last because they've been adding stuff, obviously, as you can imagine, the last couple shows.
2,
but
3,
yeah. So
6.
I think this has the potential to be one of the better matches, in the sense that I think a lot of people are already writing it off in this idea like, well, LA Knight he sucks or whatever. A lot of people hate on LA Knight's in-ring ability. I think that's really lame. I think he just has an older style of wrestling. I think he looks like one of the older superstars, like the guys we used to watch in the early 2000s.
100%.
It's like, I don't think he's going to look bad in there with Jacob.
I don't think it's terrible. I don't think his stuff.
No,
it's as bad as John Cena.
Well, I agree with that. The thing with LA Knight is that he does the thing where maybe he takes some moves off, or he doesn't always put in the max effort with what's happening in the spot.
Or he'll botch one move.
He'll botch something. He doesn't always sell the best, but he's not horrible at any of these things, right? Like I think this is me getting a little fourth wally right now, and I won't go on some long tangent, but I think people in general in society right now just like to complain, right? They just like to complain. So when it comes to something like wrestling, where one of our favorite things as wrestling fans is obviously complaining.
Especially the wrestling community.
Especially the IWC. The IWC is a horrible... It's awesome for news, but it's horrible for everything else. Opinions, predictions, yes. All these people are stupid. Okay, everyone just has their dream WWE 2K GM mode stuff. It's like, just be real for once. Also, I'm just going to say this right now, something that anybody that listens to this show, anybody that's a wrestling fan, if you don't keep it in the back of your head that this is for kids, then you're stupid. I just want to say that right now. That's a strong opinion I have. Me and Tyler both understand that. We have childlike brains, yes. for the most part. But a lot of y'all really treat this like actual adults, and it's freaking stupid. You're stupid, and I will always think you're stupid. Anyways, I think Jacob Fatu takes this match. I think there will be some bloodline. I do think there will be interruptions. I just think that they do it to take a belt back to the bloodline. I think it's to me,
makes sense.
A cut and dry, get a belt back to the new bloodline, not Roman's bloodline.
Timu bloodline.
The Timu bloodline. I just want to say something, by the way. Why did Roman win a bloodline, like the winner wins the bloodline match, for Roman to win it and then do nothing with the bloodline? You see what I'm saying? He does nothing with the bloodline, completely disregards Jey and Jimmy. Exactly. For the other guys who were actually making a good story with the bloodline, Solo and Jacob and Tama Tonga were making a good story, and then they just come in and destroy it. For what? For what? At least just do it at SummerSlam this coming. I don't know. That's a short little note on it.
Because
I could rant on that for a minute.
Jey, Roman, CM Punk.
That's bad storytelling. I'll be honest.
Anyway, let's stay focused to the predictions.
Yes. So I go with Jacob Fatu. You went with LA Knight. I don't know. Do you think there's anything else really much to say on this, or maybe we kind of covered it?
Oh, no, I think you gave your explanation. I think I gave mine.
Okay. We will go to the comments real quick. We've got ones up for our tribal chief, Bryce 5250. Chief. Well, I don't know if you'd want me to say his full name, but that is the chief right there. One's up to him. We have two things from Clay, J2K. He said, can you explain the tribal chief thing to me whenever it's relevant to talk about? So, let's do it before we jump off the bloodline stuff. So, basically, it's just, so we were talking about earlier, there's the whole idea of these tag teams that could be formed or whatever. Yeah. Beyond a tag team, you could have a faction. So it's just like multiple wrestlers. It could be boys and girls, even. It could be men and women's wrestlers. They form
basically
essentially
wrestlers have characters.
They have these characters,
what it is.
And in the faction, it makes sense for those characters to be together. They're essentially forming like a gang, right? That's essentially what it is. But the faction has a more directed, kind of concerted effort to it. So for Roman Reigns, he is the tribal chief. He is the leader of the bloodline. All it literally is all of his relatives in WWE being Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, they're two brothers, they're the Uso brothers, so they are part of the bloodline. You have Solo Sikoa, who is, what is he, Roman's nephew? I believe Roman's nephew, or
no, he's Jimmy's.
So he's also the cousin. Yeah, okay, sorry. They're all cousins to Roman. They're all cousins to Roman, and Roman is like, when he came up in WWE, he wasn't like, oh, he's going to be a tag teamer, like a mid-card guy. He's going to be the next big thing. So they gave him this faction, the Bloodline. There was way more backstory to go behind that. If you really, really care, Clay, I would go watch some quick YouTube video.
They're like all Samoan.
That's the thing. They are real life relatives.
That's the tribal chief.
Tribal, yes. That's why that's a good point. They're all from the island of Samoa. If you're familiar with Samoa, pumping out a ton of wrestlers and football players for that matter. The Rock obviously is from the island of Samoa.
Roman was a football player.
Roman was a football player. Yes.
Played at Georgia Tech.
And I think he was on.
Georgia Tech.
I think he was on the Vikings, if I remember correctly, for a little bit. I think he was on the
I
Vikings.
know Brock Lesnar was on the Vikings. I don't know about him, but maybe
something. But Roman played football. The point is that Roman he's tribal chief, means he's the leader of that faction. Pretty much just the bloodline being all his relatives, all these guys who are also really good. They're really menacing.
Yes, Talise Fuanga might be related to him.
Yeah. It's very possible.
They're all related apparently in some way. So.
And then Clay said, I don't know if you want to take that one, the one below Bryce's comment. That's about you.
Oh, to the childlike man. Tyler's about to be a childlike man with his own child. Yes, I'm having a child, and yes I am quite literally a man baby.
Shout out Papa Tyler, Papa Thomas, Mr. T, Mr. T.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's kind of it with the comments. Anyways, on to the next little match. And this is live, baby, by the way. Ain't no cuts here. This is all going in the episode. This is what you're here for. If y'all are listening to this on YouTube and you want to be a part of this, come on and join in. I'm going to put the link for the YouTube video in the Twitch. I'm going to put the link for the Twitch and the YouTube, all that. Like, we want y'all here. We want y'all to talk to us. So if you're a wrestling fan, please watch. Please hop in. Anyways, next match, top three, kind of spiciest, I would say. Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair. Tiffany Straton versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's World Championship, WWE Women's World Championship. What can we say? One of the wildest feuds probably since we've started watching wrestling again. Absolute mayhem. Two women that do not care about their careers at the moment. They already know that they're going to be made and they won't be fired, so they have thrown all caution to the wind. They have done multiple promos where, if not Charlotte, both of them go out of line to do something to make themselves look better, which obviously culminated in the promo that we all now know very infamously, where they literally just went off script. And Charlotte insinuated that, well, no, I won't play Charlotte dirty like that. It was Tiffany first who basically made fun of her for being recently divorced, which is true. Charlotte Flair was recently divorced. Real quick, Clay J2K says he's got to go, boys. Clay, thanks for hopping in, buddy. It was awesome to have you here. Thanks for asking the questions, man.
Thank you.
Hop in anytime, obviously. Thanks, man. Good night. Charlotte comes in and basically says, oh man, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Charlotte comes in and basically says, Tiffany comes in and basically just says, like, hey, you're divorced. This won't be the only thing you're losing. You'll be 0-3, kind of referencing her divorce as well as losing to Tiffany. So then that pisses Charlotte off, and Charlotte ends up coming back at a certain point, not directly after, but does end up saying, that's why Ludwig was in my DMs. Little crazy, because in canon in wrestling characters right now, Tiffany and Ludwig don't even really know each other. They're not even really supposed to know each other. There's not supposed to be some thing where Ludwig is like a womanizer. That's just not a thing. Kind of makes it really awkward. But yes, Tiffany and Ludwig are dating in real life. So that was the shot there for anyone unfamiliar. And that was that. So since then, we've had a couple little promos here and there, nothing insane. But my prediction for this match is that Tiffany Straton wins. I think it would be genuinely insane to have Charlotte win at this point. I think my personal opinion is that the original plan was to have Charlotte win. The original plan was to do a pretty standard Charlotte wins, and then at either the next pay-per-view, maybe like a Money in the Bank thing or SummerSlam or whatever, Tiffany wins it back. They do a Cody Rhodes thing, right? I now think that is not the case. I think the hatred for Charlotte has grown to a point that is unmanageable. It is not heel heat, as they say. It is go home heat. Nobody wants that as the champ. We want Tiffany as the champ. Yeah. We want Tiffany to fight people like Roxanne Perez. I want her to be fighting Bayley maybe for the belt. I want her to be fighting Bianca. I want her to be fighting all these people. I don't want her in a feud with Charlotte just because Charlotte is also white and blonde. Sorry. I don't care about Charlotte Flair. I never do. I never have. Yeah. Woo! Guess who that means in my mind? Ric Flair. I don't care about Charlotte Flair. I was not watching however many couple of years ago when she was really popping off. Good for her. This literally just feels like someone who has been. They're lucky they have the name and the reputation they do, where otherwise she wouldn't even be in this. She wouldn't even really be in WrestleMania, honestly. That's my opinion. I think she's great in the ring. That's great. There's a lot of good in-ring wrestlers now in the women's division. Guess what? There's a lot.
Yeah.
Don't need you, Charlotte Flair. You're annoying. You literally derail promos. You've made Tiffany look horrible for no reason. Like, wow. People are like, oh, it's just like John Cena. Like, John Cena actually says funny things, first of all. John Cena actually says good and funny things. Charlotte does not. She's just annoying. That's my prediction, and that's my kind of feelings on it. What do you think?
Okay, yeah. Because I kind of have a similar stand on this as well. I also, crazily enough, I also think Tiffany is going to win. Similar to kind of your reason, because nobody in their right mind wants Charlotte. But in my knowing WWE, that's what's going to happen. Charlotte's going to win, and because she gets so much heat, that's the reason. But that's going to be the reason that Charlotte ends up winning. You know, as a wrestler and everybody in the business that has done interviews, anybody that's ever talked about the business, people like even people who are out of the business now. Go ahead. People are even out of the business now, like Maven, those type of people. They talk about building up your opponent, you know, not tearing them down, not doing that type of stuff. Especially someone like a veteran like Charlotte Flair, you know, should be doing that for Tiffany Straton. Should be, you know, not trying to just make random comments, not letting the person talk, you know, at least let her freaking say something to you and then react in a different way. Don't not let her talk or anything like that. I get that you're, if you have any sorts of like heart or whatever it might be, you know, Charlotte being like, well, I'm just trying to push her. I'm just trying to make her better. I'm just trying to do this. I'm just trying to do that. No, it's not making anything look better. It's not making anything look good. You know, the feud itself, it is what it is, you know. Unfortunately, Charlotte Flair ruined any part of like excitement I have for the feud. You know, I think it's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a fantastic match, but you know, again, Charlotte's probably going to win. I'm not going to want it. I'm choosing Tiffany based off of solely not wanting Charlotte to win.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, the only other thing I'll add to that is like based off kind of what you just said. I agree. Like, I think this is the thing that people who are seemingly on Charlotte's side, which there's not a lot, but it's not hard to go online and find people who are going to be like, wow, actually, Charlotte's kind of doing better. No. Because guess what? There's a lot of, especially in the women's division, who like I'm thinking of someone like Zoe Stark, for instance, right? And she's not the best promo cutter in the first place, but I bet she would love to go out there against someone like a Zelina Vega and just start interrupting her and calling her short and saying all these mean things to her. That would make a lot of sense, and that would make Zoe look like a great heel. But she doesn't, because that's freaking ridiculous, and it makes Zelina look horrible. And it's like, you're literally defeating wrestling. Like, you're defeating the entire purpose. And the fact that it's the vet doing this. Okay, the vet. The old vet whose dad raised her wrestling. If anybody in WWE, literally anyone, even more, like, the only people that would know better even would be, like, the people that are vets, like The Rock and John Cena, technically.
You're acting like a
Charlotte,
2-year-old.
You're acting like a 2-year-old. Charlotte, am I wrong? Is she not the most... No, I guess you would have, like, Ray and Randy. I was going to say, she's the most vet women, right? Like, maybe Natalia, right?
Probably Natalia for sure.
Like
Natalia
one of those, and you have her making these like very, very emotionally charged, like Triple H. If you
to your point with John Cena, like going back to my point as well.
Yeah.
Like, John Cena would say something like that to see if you would go over top of him and try to
give you a chance.
Try to make you better. Like with Austin Theory, like he said, I don't put my noise in or promo, whatever it was, right? And then he was giving like, yes, it's a moment, and Austin Theory could have had a chance to come back. Charlotte is not letting Tiffany speak at all. She's not trying to say anything, and I'm glad the crowd in Chicago basically booed her out of the fucking stadium, because So again,
yeah,
whatever.
That's
Tiffany
that match.
Wins,
we have the same prediction.
Charlotte.
Yeah, at the moment our predictions are the same. but hopefully that doesn't end up going either way. But next match would be World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Jey. I have Jey winning this match. Pains me to say, but I think the writing's on the wall. I really, 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 really doubt they would do all this just to have Gunther beat him. Gunther's already beat him a couple times for the IC belt. We get it. You kind of have to tell that story now of, even though it doesn't really make sense to most of us, like, Jey has to win this. It's fine with me. Have him be the champ for a little bit. I think it's if you're a little kid watching this and you treat Jey Uso like Jeff Hardy, like the way I used to do, let me let you know how your next few months are going to go. You're going to feel like the king of the world come next Monday, next Friday, or whatever. And then they will swiftly take away that feeling from you within the month. That is how that'll go for you. I'm sorry to tell you. And if it is exactly like Jeff Hardy, they'll have him go win Cody's belt sometime within the next year and do the same exact thing. So you have fun with that. It will not last long. I could see Jey being the perfect setup guy for Bron to go be the new World Heavyweight Champion. That could be the case, but that would be cool. I'm honestly not going to give a lot of crazy thing on this one. We're certainly like, we are well in the length of this episode, so I'll just say I think Jey wins. I don't think it'll be an amazing match, but I think Gunther will do his best, and it'll probably be like 3 to 4 star type of thing.
I think I think I'm gonna actually go and say no, I can't do it. Jey's gonna win. And I think you're exactly right. Something like basically it's gonna be like his IC title reign. Comes out a couple times, I conquered Gunther, blah, 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 I did this, and then next thing you know, somebody new, shiny, or whatever is someone's gonna beat him, and then Jey's gonna be like, well, I want my rematch, and vice versa, like that kind of stuff's gonna happen, right? So I can see that. I'll pick Jey for this one.
Yep. So cool. I will let you take this last one. It is the only match left on night one. You do the
main event. The main event. Of WrestleMania Night 1. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. I am gonna go with.
It's hard.
my mind has always thought Seth Rollins.
Okay.
My mind has always thought Seth Rollins. I think.
I like it.
I think. Or no. Yeah, I'll do Seth Rollins.
You can make classic. Or give me your reasoning. What are you kind of thinking plays out here?
My main reasoning was going to be, I was going to pick CM Punk based off of, Roman and Seth were going to have the Shield reenactment type of thing go on, and then Roman's going to get pinned or whatever by CM Punk. But now I'm thinking Roman's going to forget about the Shield thing and turn his attention to CM Punk and be like, CM Punk, what the hell? You took Paul, Paul's mine, blah, 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 blah. And that's where Seth comes in and does something heelish where he hits him with the chair or whatever the hell it might be and ends up pinning either Roman or CM Punk.
Okay. I like it. So Seth, kind of in the same theme of what happened this past week.
I also think Seth, kind of in the theme of what happened this past week. Also, I think Seth deserves a win based off if he's technically lost to CM Punk. Twice now or whatever it's been. So I think that's what's going to happen.
My thinking with this is the winner in the similar to how you just set it up. The winner is going to be set up by the inability of the other two to whatever, right? That's how it's going to have to go because you need some kind of angle for the winner of this match to win. You can't just have the other two lose completely clean like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, but Seth is the one that's built this match up to this idea of this match controls the identity of the WWE. Okay?
Yeah.
When I hear that, and I'm thinking right now of these three men, it can't be Roman for one reason, because Roman's not going to be around. And
he's not there every night.
We know that he's not there every night, and he knows that. I'm sure he's just glad to be in this match, in the match that it is, being the main event, and the fact that he really didn't have to do much build up at all to get here. This is probably the easiest WrestleMania main event anyone has ever achieved, actually, because Seth and CM Punk earned their way here. Roman Reigns did not. Right? He's just Roman Reigns. I think Roman loses for that very fact alone, and I think CM Punk wins. I think CM Punk wins off of, actually, similarly to what you just said. I think it's a Seth and Roman thing, and we are going to be led to believe that Roman's going to win the match because he finally gets the monkey off his back I don't know if you were here the other day. I don't know if John's here, but he got the monkey off his back. A certain friend of ours did not know the phrase "monkey on the back," but anyways,
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, I think it'll make it seem like Roman got that monkey off his back of Seth, and he's about to win, and then off of that kind of spot, that distraction will be where CM Punk gets his opportunity. And I think once the match is over, it'll make sense. It'll feel like it makes a lot of sense that it's CM Punk winning this match. Because if Seth wins, it makes sense to me in the same way it makes sense to you. But I think you get a very loud chorus of boos for someone that shouldn't be getting booed. Unless it's what you said, where it's like a heel move. That would be cool. That would be cool. But I think they're going to give people the big pop cheer for CM Punk at the end of WrestleMania. He's back, everybody. This is the big moment. He's not beating Cody yet, but this is your time. Give CM Punk his flowers. It's his WrestleMania main event that he's always wanted. I think it's all just setting up for that.
I'll comment off of Call Me Bagwell. He said Paul Heyman turn and works with Seth is my prediction.
I like that.
I could definitely see something like that. My also predictions for the whole thing was Paul Heyman is just like screw it and just leaves entirely.
Yes.
It's just like and just is like I don't need anybody. I'm Paul Heyman. I'm a Hall of Famer. I don't need anybody. I'm dipping. So that was kind of my
thing, dude. Okay. I'm glad that you just reminded me of that, because you know what the real thing that could happen is, right? Come on now. There's one more person. Come on now.
No shot you're thinking of freaking fucking Brock Lesnar.
Brock fucking Lesnar. Paul Heyman is like getting cornered by all three, and then the music hits, and we're all like, Brock is back for what? What I like about the walk-off angle is that, okay, let's say it's not Brock. Well, who's the new Brock?
Bron Breakker.
Monday Night Raw, first Raw after WrestleMania. Bron Breakker gets run into by Paul Heyman, and the rest is history. We all see the writing on the wall, because
actually, oh my God! Now that you think about it, he did that in NXT. Remember?
Do you think I'm pulling this out of my ass? I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I like that angle a lot. I actually like that angle so much. You just made me. I like Paul Heyman supporting none of them. I don't even care who wins the match at the end. Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania, after Bron Breakker loses his Intercontinental Championship to one of those other three. Oh my God, we just put it together. That would be fire, Triple H, if you're listening. That would be fire. And Mr. Bagwell, I did want to say to you, I also could see the Seth. Now, this was my thing. I liked the idea before this whole thing with Seth threatening Paul happened. I liked the angle better, that it wouldn't have been in our minds at all. They weren't going to foreshadow it. Because now they're obviously foreshadowing this idea that Seth could be the one that Paul chooses, whatever. I like the idea before that Paul would have made that choice on his own, because Seth is actually, if you think about it, the much more enticing person for Paul to be with than of those three. CM Punk and Roman Reigns are too old. Seth Rollins is like in his moment right now to be like kind of the prime guy, the way that Roman and CM Punk already have been, would be my point. I would say like it would make total sense for them to just kind of reveal during the match Paul betrays them and sides with Seth. But now the reason I would say I don't like it, at least don't like it, I'm not saying it won't happen, is just that they've kind of made it so obvious, I guess is what I would say. Like, really, Paul would betray them just because Seth threatened him? Like, what is he not more? I think he's probably more scared of Roman's threats, to be honest with you. Like, I would be more scared of Roman than Seth Rollins, personally. But
for sure, yeah.
But that's our predictions. I got CM Punk winning. You got Seth. We'll keep it in our back pocket, the idea of a Paul Heyman walk-off. If that happens, I will come on and do an emergency episode and literally scream from the rooftops that him and Bron Breakker are going to be a new awesome, managee partnership going forward. And that can skyrocket them into the World Heavyweight Championship thing too. But anyways, that is night one. This episode's going for a minute, and honestly, Tyler, I don't mind. I'll just ask you right now, like, how are you feeling? Are you good to do the second part?
I'm good, brother. Let's do it.
It's going to go to YouTube like this. I do not care. I want the people to know, because we're not here to do, good presentation. We're here to get people wrestling takes now. Come on now. And we've already got it. Mr. Bagwell, I just want to let you know, this is the very first time I've hit go live on stream. This is the very first episode we've ever done. You're basically our first, unknown fan. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you being here, man. What did he say? When it comes to long-term storytelling, when Cody said Roman would have no one, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Cody had called that, and they had set that up for Roman. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I almost wish they didn't do that angle then of them fighting the Bloodline match at that Netflix on Raw.
Yeah, where people
I just anyway. it just kind of feels a little weird. It feels like it took a lot of air out of. Hey,
we have filler arcs all the time. We have filler arcs.
That's fine.
That's all we can say.
It's almost like imagine. It's like a filler arc for the main story is the reason I have an issue with it, but whatever. Okay, let me switch over to my notes for night 2. Night 2, the first match I have on here, I don't think this is the first match. I think this is probably the follow-up main event, but we're starting off hot. We got the women's WWE Women's World Championship title match, triple threat.
If this is the start, this is much better.
This is how you would start a WrestleMania. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Tyler, I will let you do the honors. You did the main event for the other one. Okay. I'll let you start off the main show for this one.
So, I have Io Sky. And Io Sky pins Rhea. I was actually thinking about this on my way home today from work. Io Sky pins Rhea. Then there's, for Rhea, there's still that, looming threat of Io Sky. She's never been able to beat Io, right?
Yeah.
So there's still that Rhea could eventually topple or whatever it is later down the line. I think Io wins because Bianca and Rhea are just way too focused on each other.
I agree.
They're beating the shit out of each other. Blah 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 blah. That's kind of my go-to. It doesn't diminish Io. Io wins. She's still champion. It kills Bianca's win streak that she has going on right now at WrestleMania. But technically not because she didn't get pinned. So technically she didn't lose. She didn't get pinned. That's why Rhea gets pinned. But then they set up Rhea and Bianca. This is why the Rhea thing or the Bianca thing, what you were saying with Jade, I think is going to be a little bit elongated because I think Rhea and Bianca have this feud for the next couple months after WrestleMania. I think Io kind of does her own thing, and then these two go off and do their own matches and do all that kind of stuff. And then once the Rhea and Bianca stuff is done, Jade might come to her and be like, I need your help. And then Naomi comes over and it's like, I need your help for Jade. Like, you got to pick a side, all that type of stuff, right? So, and then that's when I think the Jade and Bianca and Naomi thing is going to come to a...
in this match, you're saying? In this match, the triple threat?
Like, later on down the road.
Later down the road. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Later down the road.
Okay. Well,
yes, I think Io Sky wins this. That's my prediction.
I like it. If Io wins, I will be a happy man. I like it. I think probably the only one that would piss me off, certainly wouldn't piss off the larger WWE universe, but it would piss me off if Rhea wins. That would be ridiculous. Just kind of like what? Like you can just skirt over being the Royal Rumble winner and just kind of get yourself into the match and then just kind of win. Like, okay, all right, dude. And like,
I agree.
I'll be honest, like Rhea kind of needs to figure out her character in general, I would say. I don't know if the same shtick has been working quite how I like, as much as I liked it back when she was like in the Judgment Day. Anyways, I'm actually going to go with Mr. Bagwell in chat kind of took the words out of my mouth. I actually think Bianca wins this. I think she wins this as a heel. I'm keeping my prediction of the other match. I think she turns heel in the Jade Naomi match, comes into this one getting possibly the most boos of anyone of the entire weekend other than like a Logan Paul or Dom, right? I think Bianca gets insane heat, and she wins this match because of Naomi. I think and I think it'll really solidify for all of us that holy shit.
It's a preach.
Yes, sir. I think Naomi comes in and wins Bianca the match, and it fully sets in for us as the fans. Like, dude, they're heels. Like, they're really heels. They actually are going to run some stuff right now, and you'll have, Naomi coming off this win against Jade, and then she of course comes in to help Bianca. And again, it's really the idea that I'm kind of doing a little bit of like game theory. I'm already considering that Rhea won't win. I'm just assuming that cannot be a possibility based off how she got here.
No, I agree.
Which leaves Io and Bianca, and I'm enticed to say Io drops it, but it's because of some bullshit being Naomi. I don't think Io loses clean. Io is awesome.
Do you think Rhea is the one that gets pinned in this situation?
That's a good question. Let's just say yes. Fuck it. Let's just say yes.
Let's
Naomi comes in and like maybe it's something as simple as like Bianca does something.
DQ, it's a triple threat. There's no DQ.
That's right. I was gonna say Bianca does something that's cheatery, right, to get Rhea down. But then when Io is gonna get the save, that's where Naomi comes in to stop Io or something like. It could be something very, very simple, and I think that's all it'll take. But that's my prediction. I think Bianca takes it with some interference from her newly found heel tag team partner, or reunited, I guess, Naomi. Yeah. She's the new champion, and I actually agree with you on literally every other part. I think that sets up the catalyst for Rhea, Bianca. Dude, let's be real. I really like this feud in general. I don't like how Rhea got there, but I like that she's there. They could run this trio feud I think they could do that. I think that they could try out a trio feud.
They could have Io versus Rhea. They could have Io versus Bianca. Bianca versus Rhea. Like
keep running triple threat matches. Like why not?
Exactly.
I like it a lot.
All
the styles work well.
Wrestlers. Like yeah, for sure.
Will that happen? Probably not. Right. But I like it. Anyways, next match, the one I got on here. I'll do this one. We got. You already referenced it earlier. Also, my dark horse for best match of the night. WWE Intercontinental Championship match, Fatal 4-Way, Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Yep. Now this one's hard. I think it's down to two people. I think it's down to Dom or Finn. And I went with Dom, and I'll probably stick with Dom.
Okay. I think this is the only one that you know of my picks. I think this is the only one you know.
Yeah, we did talk about this. The other day.
Yeah.
This one's hard. Even as I'm trying to give my explanation, I have my explanation in my head, but I'm kind of like, I want to just say Dom wins. The Judgment Day betrays Finn. Let me put it to you more like this. The Judgment Day is going to win this, Dom or Finn, and the one that wins is going to have the help of the other people in the Judgment Day to win. The only person that makes sense to me is Dom doing it to Finn, having Carlito betray him, having Liv and Raquel, of course, betray him. Whereas Braun and Penta, I just think Penta can't win, even though I really would like that. He can't win. He's too new, and I think me and you have both already talked about it. Him and Ray. Phoenix probably get put together as a tag team coming up. That would be freaking awesome. AEW, of course. They've already done it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yep. Are they brothers in real life? I can't remember. Are they brothers or cousins or something like that? They're brothers. So, I mean, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? So that leaves Braun Breaker, who has had a pretty long title reign. I think the problem is, and this, it doesn't take a genius to kind of realize it, like, look, they don't give him a lot of...
It's crazy going into this match. Yeah. Braun is probably the least likely to win the entire... win the match,
like, retain his belt, yeah. It's just that they literally memed on it this past week. They finally looked like they were going to give him a promo to talk and say some shit himself. There's no way he's that bad at talking. He was good on NXT. Like, he must just be having a hard time getting in with the lines they're giving him, something like that, or maybe it's a different show writer on NXT versus Raw. I have no idea.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just more of it's just to build up the big bad and Finn. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think there's no promo inability to cut a promo.
That's my thinking. But what I would say is the fact that they don't give him many leads me to believe this is a match he loses. But again, it could tie into what we were already predicting earlier. That it's because you're probably setting up Braun to immediately go fight people like Gunther, like Jey, who probably will have that belt. And that actually is a perfect person for Braun to take that belt off of, because Jey is just simply not menacing in any of our eyes. But Call Me Bagwell had just said, and this will be my last note on this match, but like he had just said, the one that wins the match will be the one that gets kicked and leaves the Judgment Day. I find that interesting. I had not considered that one yet, so that would lead me to believe that it is Finn, and Finn takes the belt, and the rest of them are kind of like, screw you. Maybe Finn literally just screws Dom over and wins in a real, true heel fashion, and it actually puts us in a spot to be like, hey, we booed Dom, but really, dude? Like, really? You screwed him over, man? Like, that's kind of messed up. You know what I mean? Like, that could be a fun angle. But no, I think Dom wins. I actually think he gets a pop. I think he gets like a serious pop where all of us who have grown to respect him and really like him as a character. Is his in-ring work the best? No. But what is he, like 25, 26? Like he's not.
Yeah, he's younger.
He does pretty well for he basically is a tall luchador, which is not easy to be.
And I'll just get into mine right now. Like I also think Dom wins. I think his title reign is not going to be the longest title reign in the world. I don't think it's going to be near Braun Breakers. I don't think any of that. But I think Dom wins. I think he pins Finn, and I think it's because of the help of Dom's new member, and he's going to bring in a member.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's going to bring a member, and then that member is going to kick Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day, and that's how things are going to work. And then Braun Breaker is going to come back and be like, "Whoa, you cheated, blah blah blah. I want a rematch." Penta's going to be like, "Oh, I didn't get a fair chance. Let me have a match." Like they're gonna keep these four, like how you said with the triple threat for Rhea,
kind of going at it.
And they're gonna try and keep them going at it. Maybe add one or two, even like the new person, maybe whoever it depends. I don't know. I think it's gonna be something.
I was gonna say, I agree on Braun on that point. Penta's the one where I'm like, again, I wouldn't be against it. I like Penta a lot. I think he fits perfectly well within this mid-card Intercontinental feud. But I do think the direction for him is the tag team thing. So that if there is a draft, I think he's a prime candidate, him or Ray, to get kind of like put together. If that makes sense. But But no, I like it. If that's the road they go, you're not going to get any complaints out of me. I like it. And you know what? If it happens that they want to do what you just said, but it's not Penta, there's a certain German boy in the mid card right now who is kind of looking for an Intercontinental feud who might fit perfectly well.
He's in Charlotte's DMs.
He's in Charlotte's DMs apparently. And we already know he's in Tiffany's DM, so
hell yeah,
he earned the spot. But no, I am a big Ludwig Kaiser fan for those listening at home. But all right, we'll go on to the next match. We'll
do an episode of our favorite, like our top 10.
Oh yeah, that's all coming down the line. I want a big. It's obvious to you probably, Tyler, but I wanted to make sure we did this episode because this is such an easy content. What the hell, WrestleMania predictions? You better get that on there, right?
Yeah.
Come on now. But all right, next match.
Better place to start now.
Oh, yeah. Next match, possibly the least interesting singles match of the entire afternoon, the entire weekend, is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest.
You screwed me over, Damian.
You screwed me over, Damian. That was horrible, but I don't care. I have Drew winning. I really don't have a lot to say about this. Damian Priest has kind of made it his thing to do these matches. I don't know how that's kind of ended up coming to be. If you kind of are catching what I'm saying, like these hardcore matches, like that's his thing now, I guess. That's fine. I guess. I'm not against that. I don't know if that means this should have been on WrestleMania. I don't know if I believe in this feud at all. I haven't believed, and I know that this is one they actually have been setting up for a couple weeks, and I just don't care.
Yeah. This is just a match to get two of their biggest stars.
Literally, this was how they
had some sort of history together. I agree with you. I think Drew wins. I think Damian's like a win streak because Damian just doesn't lose. He doesn't get pinned.
He never loses.
I think Drew actually kind of reverses the what's the word I'm looking for? Stigma, or I don't know if that's the word, but because Drew keeps getting rolled up and pinned out of matches.
Yeah, like these random,
Damian, and that's how he's going to win. It's going to be like a cheeky win, like a heelish win. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
I see that. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to watch. Again, I'm not necessarily mad this is here. I don't want it to seem that way. I think it'll be fun to watch because they're going to have a lot of weapons involved. They're going to have tables probably, maybe a ladder or something like that. They'll probably go through the announcer's table, all these fun things. If you're a wrestling fan and you start hating on stuff like that, again, it's like I said earlier, you got to remember that this is made for kids, buddy. That's at a certain point of the day, some of this stuff it's just cool. You know what I mean? It's not really much to think about. I think that's probably it. So, unless you have anything else to say, that's where I'll leave that match. No. Cool.
Let's keep it going.
Next one, a little bit of intrigue behind it. Randy Orton versus TBA. Assuming we find out who this is Friday. I will insert Solo Sikoa here. I really, really want this to not be Solo Sikoa. I really want it to be anybody else. Maybe someone cool that we haven't seen before. Maybe, what's his name? Malachi Black would be cool if he's coming. Cool. I know a lot of people are saying he's coming after WrestleMania. That's fine. I'm not going to be sad if he's not here in this match. Maybe you get a return of a legend, right? Just something, right? That would be cooler than just it being Solo. Because I'm like, if it's Solo, why do this weird TBA thing? That's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it's Nick Aldis, that would be cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's my prediction from Call Me Bagwell. Yeah, plot twist, it's the GM.
It's the GM, yeah. If it's Aldis, that would be cool.
For sure.
Anybody's unaware.
Because he had the promo last week and was saying oh, you better figure this out, all that type of stuff. He's just calling him out basically, and he never answered it.
If you even look into that, dude, even Nick Aldis's stance, he was stanced up in the ring. He looked like he was ready to fight right there and then. So yeah, that was
Nick Aldis is like 38. Randy's like 40 plus.
Dude. So just so anyone that's
good to go.
Just so anyone that's unaware, Nick Aldis was a literal like. I don't think John's watching, but he would definitely get on me if I get this wrong.
TNA, he was
TNA. He was like a TNA champ for a little bit. Like this is no Nick Aldis is no spring chicken now, nothing like that. Like he knows his way around a wrestling ring. He just maybe wasn't quite up to snuff to make it as a wrestler when he was trying to be a wrestler, but they let him be a GM. Right, that's how he made his name. Yep. So I think this could be an actually pretty good match if it's him and Randy. Obviously, Randy Orton is one of the best to ever do it. It wouldn't be hard for him to carry Nick through the match. But Nick Aldis does seem like a really serious dude. He seems like a guy with good work ethic. I would trust that he would put on a good match.
For sure.
This isn't going to be like a Michael Cole thing. Like he's a wrestler. He's a real wrestler.
No, because he was in TNA, he probably wrestles better than half of the WWE.
Yeah, probably he's probably better than Dom Mysterio right now. Like,
especially older TNA. So.
He was wrestling with Cody Rhodes. But yeah,
right.
we can leave that there because we don't even know who he's going to fight. But I think it's really dependent on who it is. If it's someone that's out of WWE, I think maybe they do come in and beat Randy. If it's like Nick Aldis or Solo, that seems like a pretty easy chalk up to Randy. I would say have fun with it. Hopefully that match is fun for us. Cool. Next one. This one, it's harder for me to care about than maybe some people. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, just a singles match. I have AJ Styles winning the match. I don't even I'm just kind of picking him because it just kind of makes sense in my mind to just have the WrestleMania crowd get to cheer against Logan, have him lose. And not exactly the same, but it does feel in the same boat as Rey Mysterio. This might be one of AJ Styles' last WrestleMania matches.
Yeah,
it's a good match for him to win. A guy that we all hate, a guy that's a great wrestler that'll give him a good match. Logan and AJ Styles should be fire. Yep. I personally, so we're both, we're in our late 20s, Gen Z, millennial, in between, whatever.
Millennial, we're literally right in between.
I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Logan Paul is a piece of shit, sure. There's a lot of reasons to hate him, but I think we've grown up in this era. Like, I don't really. It doesn't keep me awake at night, if that makes sense. The fact that he's in WWE, the fact that he's doing these matches. If they tried to make him a face or something and get me to cheer for him, I'd be like,
well, he never would.
I don't. Right, that wouldn't make any sense. Right, that makes no sense on its face. So it's I think where he is right now, it makes perfect sense. Is there a career better for a canceled person who's an athlete
no shot.
than WWE? That's the best place on earth for you to be. We're gonna put you in a match where we're gonna have someone pretend to beat you up, and you get to talk shit to them before that. That's awesome. I love it. So I think this match will be cool. I think it'll be fun. The build-up was meh, but I think AJ Styles wins after a really good match. That's my prediction right there.
Yeah, I agree. I think AJ Styles wins because Logan Paul does not win at WrestleMania. He just doesn't.
Yeah, Bagwell said fuck Logan Paul.
I don't know if I can agree with you, Bagwell, because I do enjoy Logan Paul.
Tyler does like Logan Paul.
Just because I like the cheap heat. I like that type of stuff. It's pretty. It's entertaining to me. It's yes. In a WWE sense, yes, F Logan Paul. But other than that, it's whatever. I don't have any feelings towards it at all. But yes, I agree. AJ Styles wins in a fantastic match, probably a sneaky match of the night as well.
I can see that. Yeah. Yep. Does not have the same problems that maybe Drew and Damian Priest have. So Low gang. Exactly, Mr. Bryce. Exactly. Mavericks. All right, now we're getting into. This might be, I think, the match that's gotten the most hate that I would say that is the most undeserved hate. So this is the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and Bayley. Now, my question is, why is this getting so much hate when it's a tag team match for a belt where all four people in the match are pretty damn good? And if the one out of that group is Raquel, being the one that's not always the most impressive, am I supposed to be worried that she's with what probably makes her the most interesting thing in the WWE, being her in this tag team with Liv Morgan. I don't know if you remember the period after her and Liv weren't really tag team partners. It wasn't really that entertaining. Yeah. But with Liv, Raquel is a very entertaining person. In the ring with Liv, she's very good. When she doesn't have to do an entire match by herself, and it's more of like a half and half, like a tag team matches.
Even like her matches with Rhea. Like
oh yeah. This isn't me saying
good.
Raquel is bad. I just think the other three, and I know I'm giving Lyra a lot of props up there, but I do think that's kind of why Lyra's gotten such a push, is that it's hard.
For sure.
It's hard to deny her in-ring ability. Her and Bayley and Liv are great in the ring. Bayley and Lyra being a little bit better, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's wrestling, right? You make your opponent look good, even if you're going getting beat up. So I actually think this could be really fun. Like I think if the crowd chooses not to get into it, that's on them, and then maybe the match won't feel that great, but I think it could be cool. Like Liv Morgan has literally carried WWE for the last year. I'm glad they found a way to get her in WrestleMania. Yeah. I really feel bad that Nia is not in for the similar kind of reasoning. It's kind of silly to me. I actually think we'd be talking about Tiffany Straton versus Nia Jax for the belt right now as an awesome, cool, really awesome match if that was the case, but instead Nia's been like cast to the side. That's entire. Nia's not even on the WrestleMania card match. Let me not talk about her too much, but
even if they would have done because Nia and Candice LeRae were technically a tag team.
That's right. They tried. They tried
that's
that.
The reason
yeah.
This match gets hate. That's the match. That's the reason this match gets hate is because one, the women's division, they don't take care of the tag team division.
Yeah.
That's why Bianca and
Naomi.
Jade and Bianca and Naomi ran it for so long.
They were like literally the best, like immediately the best.
They just threw Lyra, who's already a champion. They already just threw Lyra and Bayley together and was like, okay, go do it. And literally did it the week before WrestleMania. So
yeah.
It's whatever. Yes, I think it's going to be a fantastic match because they're all great. It's just it's basically the AEW syndrome. They're just putting a match together just for the sake of a match, which is okay sometimes. in this scenario, it's perfect. Whatever.
Yeah.
But because Lyra has a belt, I don't think they win.
I agree. Oh no, I agree. I do think it is Liv and Raquel winning the match. I'm wondering, and I've seen people say that the angle is that it is Bayley betraying Lyra, and then that sets up Bayley versus Lyra for that belt going forward, and then maybe Bayley takes it from her.
They could try that again, yeah.
They really do need to work. Chelsea has been amazing, but I really hope that they do a little more work around Lyra's belt, which kind of maybe is why you put her in this match to get people to see that she's a great wrestler. Put her on the big stage.
For sure.
So, my friend, we have done it. We have come to the very end of this episode. This is our first episode, and I think we've freaking killed it. We are at the main event. Would you like to do the honors?
And for the night 2 on Sunday, 4/20 main event.
Thank you, Bagwell.
Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare versus everyone's favorite hero, John Cena.
What do you think?
I think it's got to be John, right? It just has to be.
Does it have to be?
I think it has to be. I think it has to be John. I think John wins it. I think he retains it until SummerSlam. Okay. I think Cody's out for. I think John hurts Cody, right?
Okay.
Or something happens to Cody. Give Cody a break because he's been literally nonstop for the past 2 years, basically, on every single show, doing a promo, doing a match, doing something to get to where he's at right now. And thank you, Cody, so much for doing that. You've definitely done a great job. But yes, John Cena then is now the big bad heel. The company have these baby faces try to go beat the big bad heel, and then a month or two, or the PLE before SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes comes back and is like, now it's my turn. Or Cody Rhodes comes back for the King of the Ring tournament, wins the King of the Ring, and then he goes on and faces John Cena at SummerSlam and wins, right? And then John Cena realizes what he's done, blah, 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 becomes a face again, and then rides out his retirement career or retirement tour as the good old John Cena that we know and love.
I like it. I'll take pretty much most of what you just said. I also agree that John wins. I was kind of memeing before, but I want to take everything you just said, except for one thing. You said that John will retain the belt up through SummerSlam. I don't think he does a single title defense until SummerSlam. I think he just holds that belt, and I think that's the angle they play. That they're gonna really actually.
Well, that's it, right? Because that's what he said.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Right.
And yeah, you're right. You're right. You're definitely right for sure.
I think he will quite literally do some sprinkled promos here and there, and it will be to literally be like, oh, I am here. Yep.
Like, I am here. Screw you guys. I got the belt.
I am here.
Nothing with it.
Yeah. Did you see me posting on Instagram last week? I am here. And it's like, and then like you'll even have maybe like a Nick Aldis, or maybe they even run an angle where Triple H comes in, and this is where they start the Triple H Rock rivalry. And they're like, hey, we need this guy in here. And the Rock comes back, and he's like, my champ fights when he wants to, leaves. Fire. That would be
Dude, what if like the Rock
that would
came
be
out
fire.
With Cena and like,
that would be so lit.
Let Cena cut a promo and Rock is just coming out cutting a promo first. This is my champion.
This is my champion.
Say any words, blah blah blah. Like,
perfect.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough.
Like there's so many angles it can go for the next several months. I think that like the big thing for John in this is that he's like, I just don't think he's gonna have to do much. I think that they're gonna build a lot. It'll be weird, I think, at first. And I agree with you. I actually could see that angle that Cody is like out, and then they give him that big. It's funnily enough, you can see the foreshadowing, the parallel. Who had back in our day out with an injury? It was a real injury, but he was out with an injury. No one thought he'd come back. Probably the greatest return of all time, if not like. There's some other ones sprinkled in there, but I think the greatest return of all time is John Cena coming back at the 2008 Royal Rumble. Winning the Royal Rumble and then going on to win the championship. I can absolutely see what you're saying. It won't be Royal Rumble, but it would be like, maybe it's Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Maybe it, like you said, King of the Ring. Like it's the last person to come in. It's Cody freaking Rhodes. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He's back. And he's back sooner than we thought. That kind of thing. That would be awesome. That would like, my thing is if Cody is out, you need to put someone in place of like, who's gonna, like who maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe it's just CM Punk. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just CM Punk. Like they kind of do that for a little bit.
CM Punk or Randy.
Randy.
Yeah, for sure.
Randy actually makes perfect sense because then you can still have them lose.
Because Randy and CM Punk are both faces right now, and they'll be like, if CM Punk would be like, basically the same promo that he had with Cody, and be like, you're not being your true self. You're not doing what you are supposed to do, right? And he's like, John Cena's like, you know what?
I would say Randy.
I don't care.
Randy makes the most sense because
I think both for sure.
Well, I only say that because Randy's the only one out of those two you can have lose. CM Punk cannot go and fight John for the belt and then lose. That can't be. That cannot be the case. CM Punk whenever CM Punk is put in the next actual title thing for him, he has to be the one that comes out and wins. He only has so much time, and what he's trying to accomplish is like WrestleMania main event.
With Randy though.
I just think it's different. I don't know why. I guess I just think it's different. Like Randy,
I think CM Punk would be okay with losing to John Cena. Like in
that's
the
fair. Yeah.
Non wrestling
maybe
world,
like
in the corporate world, negotiating that stuff. I think he would be fine with that.
It would have to be with the expectation that he's gonna win the belt maybe the next time, right? Like something like it can't be. Yeah. My point is like CM Punk can't enter a title conversation and then leave without being the title holder. Is my larger point. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, and then maybe it's the third person down the line that CM Punk's gonna beat. That's who it is. I don't care really, but it's just that all I'm really getting at is that if Cody is out, somebody has to fill a gap for the time being. You can't just have
I agree with you.
John Cena cutting promos where he's like, I won. Screw you guys. You know what I mean? Like it can't just be like that. That's a little too boring.
Well, so the reason I said that John's not gonna, or I said John's gonna like at least defend the title or at least be on, because he is technically scheduled to be on these like Raws, these other stuff shows. Like that.
Yeah.
So maybe, I would think like he would be like, blah blah blah. I'm doing this. I'm the guy, and then just a random Breaker, for example, comes out and tries to be.
I was gonna say maybe they'll cheese it and it'll be like Gunther versus Tozawa, Gunther versus it'll be heel Cena being like, oh yeah, I'll do a title defense. Come on out here. Come on out here, Pete Dunne
from that freaking whoever it is, right? I don't know.
Oh, Ricky, yeah. Like just anybody random. You know what I mean? Like I could see that. I don't know. There's a lot. That's way down the line. But moral of the story is I think we both think John Cena is going to win the main event of WrestleMania.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes will unfortunately lose. You'll probably actually get a lot of cheering. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be kind of awkward because I'm sure John will do some type of heel shit after he wins, and you'll get people literally cheering. Let me ask you this. I'll ask you for a quick little extra prediction. Do you think The Rock appears at any point during WrestleMania?
I do.
Any point. Okay.
I do. I don't think he... because apparently there's rumors, or not rumors, apparently it's confirmed that Stone Cold is there in Vegas as well for the Hall of Fame thing. And a lot of people are saying that Stone Cold and The Rock are like, The Rock's going to come out and then
Stone Cold?
Cody.
What? So like what basically?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't see that happening because if they do have Stone Cold come out and like beat The Rock, you would assume Cody is winning. But if that's the case, they could just do something like that. Cody like does a crossroads and John Cena's like, nope, I break out, does a AA or whatever it is, and pins Cody. Like, whatever. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that match could go. Very, very interested in that one. But yeah, man, look, that's the first episode.
I think just a recap and then a recap of our predictions and just go from there.
Yeah, so
no explanations. Just
let's see. Do you want to go? All right, I'll just go match by match.
We'll just go night one. Yep, War Raiders versus New Day. You have New Day. I have the War Raiders. Mm-hmm. Singles match: Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I think we both have technically Naomi winning off of shenanigans. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I have LA Knight. You have Jacob. Tiffany versus Charlotte. We both have Tiffany. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande. We both have Rey. Gunther versus Jey. We have Jey. Roman, Seth, CM Punk. I have Seth. You have CM Punk. Io, Bianca, and Rhea. I have Io. You have Bianca. Bron, Penta, Dominic, and Finn. We both have Dom. Drew versus Damian. We both have Drew. I guess we really never decided Randy versus Nick Aldis, or whoever the hell it is, because we don't know.
That's
whatever.
Weird,
yeah. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. We both pick AJ. Liv Morgan, Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. We both have Liv. And Cody and John, we both have John Cena.
All right, solid predictions. Got a couple there where we disagree on. I'm thinking we make it a habit of like keeping score and just kind of seeing who comes out on top. I think that'd be fun going forward. Keep a total score and then a per episode score.
We'll have a scoreboard.
Scoreboard, exactly. I don't know if we'll
like how they have on like Sunday Night Football. Where it's like,
literally like the
it's like this person is like 5-2 on picks and stuff like that.
And I'm saying we do that for the pay-per-views or at the very least like big weekly shows if they have them. But nah, dude. This is what we do, man. At Bagwell, if you're still here, you were basically our first real fan. I really appreciate it, man. I actually have not looked at the viewer count or anything like that this entire time, just the chat. So I don't even know if we maybe had like more than a few people hop in at any point. But if y'all are here, if y'all are chilling, we really appreciate it here. Let me pull it up.
For sure.
Yeah, we have a couple viewers. Cool. Look, we'll be doing this.
We appreciate the comments. Like the comment section was pretty live for the first ever episode. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll obviously keep it coming.
Yeah, man. We'll be ending it here. I'll just end it with this. We'll be trying to do these at least, I don't know, like once a week or something like that, trying to go over what's going on in the wrestling world, giving our predictions. And in general, I am going to be continuing streaming here right after this. So, Bagwell, you're welcome to hang out here and chat. And if any of y'all end up watching this on YouTube or Tyler, I guess I'll tell you this now. I'm going to try to figure out getting this stuff on like Apple Podcasts or whatever. That's not my strong suit, but I don't think it'll be the hardest thing to figure out. But if you catch us on one of those platforms, if you catch us on one of those platforms and you're thinking, man, I want to go on and watch this live. I want to chat. I want to be like Bagwell. Come on in, man. Like I'm gonna put, like I said, I'm gonna put the links in on those services, and we want y'all here. We want to talk to y'all. Some of these shows are not gonna have WrestleMania to help us get through it, right? So I would rather be talking to y'all and maybe getting questions from y'all, and then we can answer that kind of thing. I think that'd be super fun. So cool. That is the first episode of the D&T Wrestling Show. Y'all have a good one. Catch you next week.
We're signing off.
Yes, sir.